Hey guys, welcome to how to make overcompensate, well at least the way I did. This is a grand piano, by the way, from Keyscape. Tempo is at 69, by the way, for this intro, and right after that, switch it to 120. Bring in this bass line. If you want to know how to make this bass line, here it is. The sound I chose is actually a Nexus preset. Make a synth with a square wave and filter it out, and you'll get a sound similar to this already. Okay. Sadly, I didn't make the two trumpet synths. These are just samples. But if you want to know how to do it, here's how. Let's see, how do we get a trumpet here? Okay, it goes like... and then saturate it. Basically, get this through a saturation plugin. And a chorus plugin. I think it starts off as a high one actually. And then you pitch it down artificially. There's a lot of reverb on this, drown it out with the saturation on it. It really depends what trumpet you get. They all have different colors, and this is not the right color at all. This ain't it either. Now you play the same thing an octave higher. Like, that's just a sample of how to get close to this, to the sound, but I'm already using like my own samples. All right, after you get your piano, bass, and trumpet synth, you're going to start on the risers. I picked out a Cashmere noise sample and just laid it out flat. Like this. And then I automated the volume to come in slowly at the beginning. And then a filter. Start at the middle of the filter kind of, and then ride slowly, and you get this. And the tom riser, just pick out a tom. This is a Cashmere synth tom. It does not sound like this normally. There, that's the normal pitch. That's the sample where it starts at. But I brought it up to here. Add these effects. It has quite a lot of reverb. And the filter again, do the same thing with the filter where it comes in slowly. And then you automate the pitch. If you don't know, this is this knob right here. No, this knob right here. Set it to a high range and then find the correct range. The starting pitch and the ending pitch, and you get this. Cool. And this is just a synth riser. Just a saw wave. Full chorus, filter it out a bit. It's all reverb too. Same thing with the knob on the... Nope. I have it set to a one voice and it's on glide mode. You put two notes, the starting note and the end note, and just instantly put the right note slightly after the first note and it'll slide up depending on your glide knob, which I have set to the maximum. It takes 16 seconds for it to glide from the first note to the top note. And all those together make my effects stem. And this isolation from the Dolby Atmos. This is also just a synth, by the way. It was one of the first things I did. Yeah, right here. Just a saw wave again and distort it a lot. Some chorus, a delay that happens every bar. And saturation, some EQ, a lot of reverb. Yep, more saturation apparently. You just want it to sound like a scream, honestly. And when the drums come in, you get some bongos, and I used some contact bongos. The pattern happens over and over. There's this ride cymbal that comes in sometimes, especially over here. Then there's extra drums. You get some crashes and stuff. An open hi-hat. Again, where the drums come in, you get some percussion type electric drums, and this is what they play. If it was like that more, that's what it should sound like. And then you layer that with all the bongos. That's the percussion stem. What else? Okay, well, the drums. For this section of the song, I have a certain patch dedicated to just the closed hi-hat, kick, and snare and toms. Well, and crashes. It shows... There we go. Virtual Mix Track was bugging. Drum pieces I have done is the tama kick. You have to remember to use the envelope a lot because without it, it just sounds really... Snare. Just a bit too much, so cut the envelope down a little bit. Got the Zildjian alloy again. This is the Meinl 15-inch Byzance. And then all the toms are the vintage dry toms. Here is the mini. Very fun. And then that patch ends and I switch it to another patch for the verse, but you'll see that later. Piano comes back in at the I created this world, plays this. You also want to filter this out. These are just the sustain pedal animations. I hope you know to do that. But the filter out, without it, slightly more open. See, that's the filtered, that's the normal sound, and this is the filtered. You want to filter this part out. That's what they did. I think I covered everything in the intro. Cool. Moving on to right when the verse starts, there's this scream effect. That's just an isolation from a acapella filter, you know? And then this is also a track from the Dolby Atmos stems. Like, there were some instances where there's like a soloed effects, so we just grabbed those, but in the Dolby stems, there's nothing really actually solo, like, because it's always like a mix of like 3 instruments, especially in where the drums are. It's usually his vocals, the drums, and the bass, all in the one track. Then there's like a different track specifically for like all the effects. So we got that. By the way, make sure to change the BPM to 95 right after the triplet toms. Synth, which is also an isolation from Dolby. Basically, I need to add some echo to it because it was missing that, because it was cut apart and stuff. Now for this bass, I actually made this one from scratch. Here is the Vital Oscillator page. It's got a little bit of legato glide on it. Half chorus. A little bit of distortion, filter it out on the post filter. Filter it out even more. And some slight EQ, which is probably not doing much at all. And then I have this FL Destructor plugin on it. It's doing a little bit. Just a little bit. It's basically just a distortion area. And it's filtered out a bit. There is a tape stop effect, like like that type of thing. Usually at the end of a bass line somewhere. And then this is some surgical EQ. Yeah, there's a lot of EQ I do. That's without the EQ. We have a whole like fruity filter. It's basically just doing some slight modulation the whole time. In case you want to know, whatever this is my modulation I pasted every 2 bars. And when this automation goes down, that's when a tape stop happens. Cool. This is the MIDI. We'll skip over here because this is when stuff actually happens. You get the idea, but here's some more of the, there you can see some of it. In the chorus, there's a piano and it plays basically what the intro was doing, just faster. That doesn't exist. The beep synth goes on through all the verses and choruses. Second verse, it pauses and then comes back in halfway. Pauses, then it's back in the chorus. And then, yeah, it basically just comes back after the bridge and for the rest of the song. In the choruses, we have a pad. This one's playing more low notes. Just a saw wave. Some chorus on it. Filtered out. It's got a little beginning kind of envelope on it going like an attack. Some chorus. And this is for me to automate the volume. Somewhere. And then there's also another pad on top playing higher notes, which I decided to separate. Yeah, so those play out through all the choruses, and then on the ending of the song, it's now an F on top, really high one. And right before that chorus, there is a riser of that synth going volume up. I have a different patch just for that envelope, if you know what I mean. In the choruses, there's these bell plucks. I made them in Vital. Darken the sound. A bit of reverb. More surgical EQ. Fun. Without any of this, yeah, I needed some of that. In the verse, the second verse, this plays. And then at the ending of the song, it's more notes than the other courses. Okay, in the bridge. Hello, not this again. Here's the oscillators you can copy from if you want. Got some chorus, some filter, a little bit of distortion, a tape stop effect, and it's really EQ'd out. These are the notes. And it's got a tape stop on the end, and it's got some pitch automation at the beginning and end of most chords. A little trumpet playing a little funny thing. It goes up out of key for a second, which sounds really nice. It's not this note. See how weird that sounds? Okay, and then once he's back in his verse, after the bridge, there's this little sine wave ear candy. In case you wanted to know, it's just a sine wave with a little bit of attack, short, and some glide. And that's all the synths. Wow. In the bridge, there's this chromatic bass line, except for the jump to G sharp here. There you go. And then right after that ends, you bring back the fill, the transition bass. I had an automation here. It's supposed to cut out when the bridge happens, but I think somehow that got disabled in my final master. And that's the only mistake that I really didn't like. Also, one thing I do is turn this up more. Let me do that right now. There you go. And thank you to Jackson MP4 for this gospel sample. It had this huge like tape stop, but I needed less of that. And yeah, there you go. In the bridge, I decided to bring back the percussion drums. Okay, last thing, instrumental wise, is the drums. For the verse drums, let me just, okay. It's the same kit pieces still, but they're just even tighter and slightly different tuned, very slightly. But the snare is mostly the only thing really different. Compared to this, now it's, yeah, that's the difference. Yeah, there's supposed to be a little reverb on the snare. That got disabled somehow, but it's in the final one, so we're good. So kick and snare, the general kind of velocity for the kicks, and then the snares, same, but on the ghost notes, a little lower, and especially on the really fast ghost notes, instead of up here like the other ones. And that one's a small ghost note too. On the hi-hats, it's mostly playing these 16th notes, like down here kind of velocity, but on every half note between the bars, every third beat, it's like a pretty much louder than the rest of the hi-hat. So it gives this kind of feel to the drums. Remember, my open hi-hats are on their own track because these other hi-hats are so tight sounding that they would affect the open hi-hat sound if I played them in the same patch. And yeah, so I needed to make a different patch just for the open hi-hats. But yeah, this is the MIDI. There's a lot to show. Fly by the dangerous bend symbol. Maybe overcompensate, and by the time I catch in my peripheral, don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. Bridge. Fourth bar of the bridge, bring in the toms. There you go. That was what the drums sound like. I believe I covered everything. That is everything instrumental wise. This does not count actually as a instrumental because it's Tyler in the OG. I don't even have that in the final one. That was just like a scratch, so ignore that. We don't even need that track at all. Goodbye. Only one piano stem. Bass stem, effects stem, percussion stem, drum stem. And all this is synth stem. I made my own vocals, but I doubt I'm going to show it in the final video, but here. Wait what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Earn my stripes, 300 tracks in my Adidas track jacket. Bless your ear holes while you react acting. Gobsmacked, don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. I feel like I was just here saying, twitching in my eyes. Don't sleep on a boy who can't fall asleep twice in the same night and won't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. I said, I fly by the dangerous bend symbol. Don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate, and then by the time I catch him up peripheral, don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. Where am I from? I was born right here, just now, originated right in front of your eyes. If you can't see, I'm Clancy, prodigal son done running, come up with Josh Dunn, wanted dead or alive. So now you pick who you serve. You batter the masses, get kicked to the curb. We're passing the class is half empty, half full. Save half for your taxes, then overtake a former self. And I didn't do the rest. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I really wanted to try and make one of these videos now. I hope it's better than my last. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see ya.